In this video I'll show you how to calculate different types of angles. So let's start with the exterior angles. Take in consideration a question like that, where is an angle extended from a triangle as shown here, and you're asked to find the value of the angle x, which is the exterior angle of this triangle. So you should know a rule, which is the exterior angle x is equal to the value of the two opposite angles of this triangle, which are angle A and angle C. So the measure value of x is equal to the measure value of A plus C. Another way to solve this question is by subtracting 180 by the value of angle B, because as you can see, angle X and B both create a 180 degrees angle, which is a line, this blue line here. This blue line is equal to 180 degrees. So x plus b is equal to 180 degrees. So in order to find the value of x, we'll subtract b from both sides. So x will equal to 180 minus b. Now let's take another example. In this question, what is the value of y plus z? So as you can see, the value of y and the value of c represents the values of two exterior angles of this triangle here. We can solve this question using the second method I showed you, which is y equal to 180 minus 30 and z equal to 180 minus 60. So the value of angle y is equal to 150 degrees, and the value of angle z is equal to 120 degrees. If we added both of them, we will get a 270 degrees, and that will be the answer to this question. Now what about this example? What is the value of x and the value of y? So here you should notice that y is the exterior angle to this triangle, right? So we can get the value of y by adding the values of these two opposite angles. So y will equal to 60 plus 60. So y will be equal to 120 degrees. And we know angle y and angle x both are equal to 180 because both of them are based on a line, and a line have a 180 degrees. So 180 is equal to x plus y, and we already know the value of y, which is 120. So 180 is equal to x plus 120. Solving for x will be equal to 60 degrees. So the value of y is 120 and the value of x is 60 degrees. Now what about angles that are formed by a line crossing two parallel lines? So this is a line, and as you can see, it crosses two lines that are parallel. So let's say this is line M and this line L, and this is line K. So line M and L are parallel, and line K crosses these two lines. Let's say that this angle here is equal to x, and that angle is equal to y. You should know that opposite angles that are opposite to each other, are equal to each other as well. So the opposite angle to x, which is this one, have the same value. So if this angle is equal to x, then the opposite angle to it will equal to x as well. There is the opposite angle to y, which is this angle here, red, have the same value as y. Now we're done with the angles formed by the intersection of K and line M. Now what about the intersection between line K and line L, which is this angles formed here? You should notice that these angles here, or this section here, is actually similar or equal to the angles formed between the intersection of K and M. So in this part, we'll have the exact same values. So this angle will equal to x, and the opposite to it will equal to x as well. This angle will equal to y, and the opposite angle will have the same value. Now another thing you need to know is that x plus y are equal to 180, because as you can see, the angles of x and y are both based on the same line, and we know that a line have an angle of 180 degrees. So x plus y is equal to 180. Let's take an example. Let's say we have two lines that are parallel and they are crossed by line F. And we know that this angle here, this one, is equal to 20. And you're asked to find this one, which is x, and this one, which is z, and this angle W. So first step, let's see what is the opposite angle to 20. The opposite angle to 20 is angle x. So we know that the opposite angles have the same measurement, so x will equal to 20. Now we know that x and z, both of them are based on the same line, so x plus z is equal to 180 degrees. And we know that x is equal to 20, so 20 plus z is equal to 180, and z is equal to 160 degrees. So the value of angle z is equal to 160. Now what about angle W? We know that this part here, or this section, is similar to this section here. So if we know that this angle, which is the same as this one, is equal to 20, we know that W is opposite to 20. So the value of angle W will be 20 degrees. Let's take another example. In this example, he asks about the value of x, angle x, and the value of y. And you're given the value of one angle, which is 50. Now we know that 50 plus whatever angle here, let's say it is angle F, is equal to 180, because they are based on the same line. Now solving for F, we'll get F equal to 180 minus 50, and that's 130 degrees. So F is equal to 130. We know that opposite angles are equal, so this angle will equal to 50 as well, and the opposite angle to 130 is here. As you can see, this section, or this intersection between angles, is similar to this one. Angle x is similar to angle 50. And this section is similar to this section as well. The angle at this section, which corresponds to angle y, is 130. So y is equal to 130 degrees. So the value of angle x is 50 degrees, and the value of angle y is 130 degrees. polygons have different shapes and different characteristics and different measurements of angles. But let's take the two basic shapes, which are triangle and square or rectangle, and then we'll get to more complex shapes that have 5 angles or more. So let's start with a triangle. A triangle has 3 angles. That's 1, 2, and 3. And the total measurement of all these angles, the total measurement of angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is equal to 180 degrees. So a total measurement of a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. If you are given a triangle that have angle x, angle 70, and angle 50, and you're asked to calculate the value of x, the value of x plus 70 plus 50 is equal to 180. So what we're gonna do is that we will add 70 and 50. 70 plus 50 is equal to 120, and then we will subtract 120 from both sides. So x will equal to 60 degrees. Now what about a square? A square or a rectangle have 4 angles that are equal in measurements, and they have a value of 90 degrees. So a square or a rectangle have 4 right angles, and a right angle have a value of 90 degrees. So we have 4 angles and each of them is equal to 90 degrees. So the total measurements of these 4 angles here is equal to 90 multiplied 4, which is 360 degrees. What about polygons with 5 angles or more? In this shape here, we have 5 angles. That's the first one, second, third, fourth, and fifth. The polygons that have 5 angles is called a pentagon. Now, how can we know the total angle measurement of a pentagon shape? Now, you should know a formula that we can apply to know the total angle measurement of any polygon with 5 angles or more, which is 180 multiply n minus 2, where n is equal to number of angles. So in a pentagon shape we have 5 angles, so n will be equal to 5. Next we will plug in 5 into the formula, so we'll have 180 multiply 5 minus 2, 540 degrees. And that's the total measurements of all 5 angles in a pentagon. Now, what if he wants us to find the measurement of each angle in a polygon? First thing you should notice is that all of these angles, they are all equal to each other. And we have 5 angles in total. And we know the total measurements of all angles. So to find the measure of any angle of these individually, we can divide 540 by the number of angles, which is 5. So we will have 540 divided by 5, which is 108 degrees. So each angle in a pentagon shape is equal to 108 degrees. Let's take another example. What if we have a hexagon? A hexagon have 6 angles. What is the total measurement of all angles of a hexagon shape? All we're gonna do is that we will apply the formula, which is 180 multiply n minus 2, where n is equal to the number of angles, which is 6. So 180 multiply 6 minus 2 is equal to 720. 720 degrees is the total measurements of all angles in a hexagon shape. What if we want to know the individual measurement of each angle in a hexagon shape? What we're gonna do with that, we'll divide 720 by the number of angles, which is 6. 720 divided by 6 is equal to 120 degrees. Now let's take some examples. Here he wants us to find the value of x, which is this angle here. As you can see, we have a polygon with 5 sides and a triangle. Now in order to know the value of x, we should know the value of the other 2 angles in the triangle. And in order to know the values of each of these angles, we should know the value of the angles that resides on the same base. Let's say angle x and angle y. So, what is the value of angle x and the value of angle y? We know that this polygon here have 5 angles in total. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we should apply the formula, which is 180 multiply n minus 2. And n is equal to 5. So 180 multiply 5 minus 2 is equal to 540 degrees. And we want to know the value of x and the value of y of these angles. In fact, value of x is equal to the value of y, because every angle on this polygon is equal to any other angle on the same polygon. So we will divide 540 by 5, which is the number of total angles in this polygon. And 540 divided by 5 is equal to 108 degrees. So the value of x is equal to 108 and the value of y is equal to 108. Now, what about the value of these 2 angles here? We know that the value of x plus this angle, let's say angle A, is equal to 180 because they are based on the same line. So the value of the value of A is equal to 180 minus x, and x is equal to 108. So 180 minus 108 is equal to 72. So now we know that the value of angle A is equal to 72. What about the value of this angle here? Let's say angle B. The value of angle B is equal to 180 minus the value of angle Y, because both of them are based on the same line. So the value of B is equal to 180 minus 108, which is 72. So B is equal to 72. Now, let me clear up some space. We know that a triangle have total angles of 180 degrees. And we know 2 of these angles, which are A and B, and both of them is equal to 72. So, and we need to find the value of angle x, which is this one here. We know that x plus 72 plus 72 is equal to 180 degrees. 72 plus 72 is equal to 144. Subtracting 144 from both sides, we will have x equal to 180 minus 144. Now what about this example? What is the value of x plus y plus z plus w? So as you can see here, we have 2 parallel lines. This line here and this line there. And we have 2 lines that intersect these parallel lines. And you're asked to find the values of several angles in this question, which is angle x, angle y, angle z, and angle w. Let's start with angle x. We know that opposite angles are equal, and the opposite angle to x is equal to 70 degrees. So x is equal to 70. You should notice that this section is similar to that section here. So if this angle is equal to 70, that one will equal to 70 as well. And we know that angle z and angle 70 both are based on the same line. So z plus 70 is equal to 180. Solving for z, we'll get z equal to 180 minus 70, which is equal to 110. So z is equal to 110. What about angle w? We know that opposite angles are equal. So the opposite angle to w is this one here. So this one is equal to w as well. If you take a look, angle W and 50 are both based on the same line. So W plus 50 is equal to 180. Solving for W, we'll get 180 minus 50, which is 130 degrees. So W is equal to 130. Now, what about angle Y? We know that this section is similar to that one. And the angle that corresponds to angle Y is 50 degrees. So y is equal to 50 degrees. Now let's add all these values. 70 plus 110 is equal to 180. 180 plus 130 is equal to 320. 310. 310 plus 50 is equal to 360. So the total value of all these angles is 360 degrees. What about this example? He asks you to find the value of angle Z and angle W, which are these angles here. You may think, okay, angle W have an opposite of 130 and angle Z have an opposite of 120. However, this won't be correct, because these are not two lines intersecting actually. These are three different lines intersecting. That's the first line here, the one in yellow. That's line number 1. And that's line number 2. This one in blue. And that's line number 3. The one in red. So as you can see, we have three different lines intersecting. Thus, opposite angles, in this case, does not exist. However, we know that all these angles together is equal to 360 degrees. So W plus Z plus 120 plus 130 is equal to 360 degrees. 120 plus 130 is equal to 250. Solving for W plus Z, we will have W plus Z equal to 360 minus 250, which is equal to 110 degrees. And that's the answer to this question. What about this example? What is the value of angle X and angle Y? So in order to solve the question, we should find the value of this angle here. Let's say angle A. We know that angle A and 110 are both based on the same line. So A plus 110 is equal to 180. So the value of angle A is 180 minus 110, which is equal to 70 degrees. So this angle is equal to 70. Now you should notice that you can come out with two different triangles from this shape. First triangle is the one in blue. So the triangle in blue is something like this. right? We know that this angle is equal to 30, and we have another angle that's 70, but we don't know this angle. Let's say it's angle, let me denote it in another letter. Let's say it's angle W. Now, what is the value of angle W? We know the measurement of W plus 70 plus 30 is equal to 180 because this shape represents a triangle. Solving for W, we'll have 180 minus 100. So W will equal to 80 degrees. You should notice that this angle here is a common angle between these two triangles drawn, right? Because the blue triangle, have an angle which is equal to 80, and the red triangle have the same angle which is equal to 80 as well. So we know that x plus y, which is the other two angles of this triangle, plus 80 is equal to 180 degrees. Solving for x plus y will equal to 180 minus 80. So x plus y will be 100 degrees.